Hello everybody and welcome to another playthrough for Pro and Expert Division with various wins. Before we move on to all the content and everything here in the video, I want to say that in this playthrough you will see some spin boxes that display the new stats and some spin boxes that display the old stats. Why is that? It's because there is absolutely no chance that I will be able to update all my videos for every single hole, for every single course that is in the game. So for me to be able to provide free content to you all, you will see some older replays, you will see some new replays as well. But the most important thing is though, is it accurate? Yes, it is still accurate, and you will hear me when it comes to the voiceover trying to give you the best possible advice on how to play the hole. The good thing is though, if I say 6 top spin and 2 right spin, then you're gonna play 6 top spin and 2 right spin. Only the visual when it comes to, for an example, a power 4 ball in the past is now called power 8 ball. So all the stats has been doubled, going from 0 to 10 instead of 0 to 5. Just an important thing to have in mind. For those of you that are looking to improve your game even more, then you scan the QR code here on the screen or go directly to patreon.com/golfclashtommy via the link that is in the description down below. There you can find premium guides that start from $3 and up. Checkpoint challenge, tour play, and tournament play. Follow the info box on the right hand side for the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also a ball and club type I suggest you to play with. And last but not least, hit the thumbs up if you enjoy the content I do here on the video. Not just on the video, on the channel. Also, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. Now, finally, let's go to hole number 1. Hole number 1, we are doing a QB start with a power 6 ball. We are setting up with the inner ring to be by the rough line. You can see that I'm then using a 2 left spin and the max top spin with the QB, which is 5 bars of top spin. If you do not have 5 bars of top spin with your QB, you can as equally well set that with the driver that you're swapping to. Now, I'm using an Apocalypse, but you can here as equally well use an Extra Mile, a Thor's Hammer, or an Apocalypse in that instance, because the only thing that matters is that the club has more power than the quarterback and also has a 5 top spin as per minimum. Adjust max plus 10, and then after that we're going max over power with a slow needle to get this ball to the green. Have in mind that the top spin amount will vary depending on what type of wind direction you have off tee. 5 top spin will work really well in tailwind, but once you do get more crosswind, you have to increase, and if you do get some headwind, you need to increase as well. But hole number 1 is definitely a chance of the Jubilee Grow to get yourself to the green and to start off with a nice little eagle. Hole number 2 of the Jubilee Grove. Here we are going to, I was looking into maybe doing an NMT, but I kind of realized that if I do not have enough tailwind, I will definitely flirt with that bunker. So what I'm doing is that I'm setting up with the top of the white ring by the sun, and I'm using then a 3 backspin and like a 2.5 bar of right spin, aiming short and also pointing slightly left of the pin. Using any sort of power 4 plus ball, side spin 6 plus, and also then wind 6 or better is my recommendation here, but that's obviously up to you to what ball you want to play with. Max plus 30 would have been a little bit better because I do play max plus 20 in the video, but no matter what though, you will end up onto the green with good pace, and if you have a little bit of luck, you can get that one to drop for an hole-in-one. For hole number 3, here I'm going to show you all a more aggressive way of playing this hole. I think it's fun to look at more aggressive options on certain holes sometimes, especially when we're used to playing very conservative. Here we're actually going to try to land on the path. We're going to land on that path to bounce into the rough, to roll out to be by the green. Sounds silly, but yeah, sometimes you can do those type of things with a special ball. So what we're doing is starting a P8 max rest. We're using a max plus 20 P0 as an adjustment, and then we're going to set spins where we're using all the boosts, so 4 top spin boost, and max topspin, half a ball of right curl, and to try to hit perfect. You can see here now that we are bouncing on the pad over the fence to then roll and roll and roll, and there we are for a wedge. For those of you that are looking for a more conservative way of playing, obviously playing on the path is not that, and you play on the left side of the fairway, or the fairway that is just straight forward, and then you're going to try to play in between the trees. There is a gap there, we're trying to attack in the pin. The wedge from here, we're playing a no spin EB School version, and here we are going to play with a P4 ball setting, and we're playing, as you can see, no spin, ball guideline to the hole. We then make the adjustment, and then a perfect ball here will be having a good chance. And as you can see, I mean, this is a more aggressive way of attacking this par 5. And it's definitely a fun way of playing if you do have the possibility to play with some tailwind and also some topspin boost. But have in mind, for those of you that have listened to my voiceover, have heard that you can play straightforward, playing more conservative, getting yourself still a chance for an albatross, even though this play that you can see here on the screen is definitely a little bit more fun. Hole number 4, here we are playing an NMT. What that means is that we are not going to touch the target until it's time to adjust the rings. We are here going to do some spins. That's going to be half a bar of backspin and 2 left spin. Adjust is going to be 1 to 1, which is mid plus 10. And as you can see here on the ball, you can use many different variations of a golf ball to get this one to drop. Doesn't have to be a power 6 ball. Perfect ball, you can see we get down the left side of the green, and it looks like we are going to miss loads to the left, but there is a nice groove, a nice funnel that the ball catches and falls back in line, dropping dead center for the hole-in-one. So here my biggest recommendation on this particular par 3 is to try to find the correct speed and favoring going on the left hand side. And NMT is definitely the way to go in, I would say, in more or less all the type of wind directions, because what that will do is that it simplifies you having to find the aim point. And as we're already doing a lot of different things on our complete setup, removing the need of finding a specific aim point when we're already finding it by doing an NMT, then it's definitely the recommended way to go. Take your game to the next level with the Ultimate Tournament Hex Guide for Expert and Master Division for the Center Course 9-hole Cup. A lot of players are excited that the 9-hole Cup are back, and a lot of players are excited to join in our guide community to see for themselves how that will improve their game. Investing in a guide is saving yourself money, because you pouring practice tokens and balls in the game is essentially a cost. But by having a guide, you will allow yourself to practice less and therefore using less balls, but still be competitive. And I would say that you may be even a little bit more competitive than you otherwise would be. But see for yourself. Scan the QR code here on the screen, or go directly to patreon.com/golf-tommy via the link in the description down below. You can play with free-to-play balls and with paid balls with both of our guides and still be competitive. Exciting times. 9-hole Cups are back. The Center Course 9-hole Cups. Join our community and improve your game. Hole number 5 of Jubilee Grow. Here we are starting at the P6 max rest. And here you can see I'm setting 3 right spin and 5 top spin. So this is a play that you can play with, as always, when it comes to my playthroughs. You can play with very low level drivers if you would so like. Have in mind though that you will have to have somewhere around 1 to 1.5 ball of right curl, which is definitely then going to make Apocalypse to be the preferred option, even though it might be just in level 1. Adjust max plus 10, and we're trying to cut the corner around the trees to land nicely here on the fairway. On the second shot, we are going to try to find a good spot with our sniper, and that could be easier said than done, because there are many bumps on this fairway. And first, I'm trying to find a spot a little bit higher up, but kind of realizes then if you look at the ball guideline now, when I'm setting, you see how it flickers there when I'm trying to set the correct spin or the spin that I want to have. So I'm then moving up and respinning to allow myself to be a little bit more consistent. What you need to have in mind is when you do have a tailwind on the second shot, the ball guideline will be longer than what it shows, meaning that the ball will have a longer air time already from, when you take the shot to the first bounce, then to the second bounce, etc. So you have to leave the ball guideline short. But that's also the same type of logic as when it comes to the headwind, but the opposite in that way, that the ball guideline will be compressed and the ball will not have enough push from the wind, and therefore you will have to leave it like through the hole instead. Crosswind is obviously easier when it comes to the spins, because then you can rely on the ball guideline in a much easier way. Many different ways of playing this second shot, but in the end what matters is find yourself a way to attack the pin, and think about what I said about tailwind and headwind. Hole number 6, here we are going to play straight forward. Now with some tailwind you could possibly play very aggressive and blast the ball down there, but that's not what we're gonna do now. We're gonna lay up using spins that all the clubs can be using, or at least those that are playing expert, starting at P10 max rest with the rock, and we have blue ring to the right by the rough line. After that we swap to a puck and we cat bag. The cat we use on the approach because we do need the distance. You don't need to have Cataclysm level 8 here. You can have a very low level Cataclysm, or you can play with a big dog if you would so like, but the power is what we are looking for. Perfect ball, the ball gets over the rough and roll down the fairway nicely. Here we do want to be as close to the rough line possible without giving ourselves any danger of a great left or a great right roll into the rough. Now on the second shot with our Cataclysm, we are looking to do a rough bump. And here you can see that I'm using a little bit more than 2 top spin and 1 right spin. In the rain to be where the sand meets the rough, ball guideline is then short of the hole. Why is that? It's because we do have a tailwind, and the tailwind will make the ball be carried more, so it's actually going to land further forward than where we aim. That's usually a very common mistake that players do, including myself, in tailwind. That we are not thinking about the fact that the wind will be making the ball land further forward than where we aim. So that's why we're starting further back and also aiming short of the hole to compensate for those type of things. Perfect ball, we clip the rough, we roll down the green, and if we are lucky, we can get ourselves an albatross. But this time we roll over the hole, being very sad, moving on to the next hole. Hole number 7 is a very nice par 3 to play in my opinion, because it offers many different type of possibilities to attack the pin. So what I like to do here is to either go for a rough bump up there or to bounce on the fairway before the rough and the sand. So here I'm starting by setting the aim with my sniper level 10. If you do have a sniper that is level 9, 8, 7, 6, then you will have to use a different power ball. So here I'm setting up at the P6 max rest range, but again you have to play with possibly a P7 or a P8, P9, P10 ball to set it up with the lower level snipers. But the reason I set up with the snipers is to establish a solid max line. Then I'm swapping to the Guardian to allow myself to pull the X amount of rings that we are needed to not go up into max line. And again, it may look and sound complicated, but it looks more complicated what it actually is. The most important part here is to find the aim with the sniper and then swap to the Guardian. But for those of you that are thinking like, okay, that will take me loads of time, I will not be able to do that in time, then go directly with the Guardian. Find the spot in the rough and use the adjustment max plus 20. And obviously you're going to have to do different spin depending on what type of wind direction you have. Again, it's all about showing different alternatives for you then to work with. And as I say, if you do look for detail adjustment and such, you can always find that in the Ultimate Tournament text guides via Patreon. On hole number 8, we have seen many times that we can blast the ball over the rough on the left-hand side, and that is like a big boy play, whereof if you do have higher level clubs, then you can, with either with some topspin boost or just without topspin boost, even in headwind, get yourself over to get close to green. And obviously, if you have that possibility with your club and the ball, then do that, because it's going to be much easier than having to lay up. But always trying to have the playthroughs in a way so everyone could follow, even though it may be a bit of a conservative way sometimes. Sometimes I go the more aggressive way, as you all know as well. QB at P6 max rest. I like to use the QB to find and establish a firm max line when we do have a headwind, to then swap to a club with more power. Now, you don't have to play with Apocalypse here. You can play with Extra Mile, Thor's Hammer, or any other driver that do have at least the 5 bars of topspin. Maybe a little bit too close to the rough line to be, honest, and we can move obviously more right and use a little bit less side spin if we move so. Like, max plus 10 is the adjustment, and this is going to leave us up for a second shot with our long iron, which in this case is going to be our Grizzly. Grizzly here, we are either going to do a rough bump or we're going to bounce on the fairway. Now you can see me in this replay looking around a little bit to see if we can find any really super good spots, but can't really find that. And you can see that the trees are also covering the view with the ball guideline, which obviously is not ultimate. You can go up the bank and roll back in, and you can go directly at it, you can bounce on the fairway. So many different ways of attacking the pin here that in the end you're gonna have to just decide for what suits you the best. More side spin, then you can attack the pin directly with the ball guideline and such. But I decide to go with the most conservative way in the end, bouncing on the pad and then aiming short towards the pin. The reason I aim short is, once again, we do have a little bit of tailwind, and we can't aim at the hole or through the hole because we will come in too hot. We need to let the ball have the speed to drop, not just hitting the pin and out, for example. Bounces on the fairway down, and here I'm missing a little bit on the left hand side, just need a little bit more adjustment. But there you can see the many different ways you can go about it if you feel that you're forced to lay up. But I can't stress that enough. If you have the possibility to blast it, and obviously if the wind is favorable off tee, having tailwind and such like that, then you should be blasting it and trying to get yourself as close to the green possible, because that could simplify getting an eagle here massively. Hole number 9. Here I will say already here that I will go on this hole to show you the absolute best chance for a drop. That means that we're going to pack the Cataclysm already from a start to allow ourselves to play with a lot of topspin on the approach. If we don't have the Cataclysm, the big dog is definitely a club to go with, or the Horizon. Starting at P6 max rest, looking at 3 topspin and 3 left spin. Adjust max plus 15, and once we have adjusted, we are in that case trying to push the ball within a certain range of yards. And what I mean with that is, like, to be able to play the second shot successfully, we need to be consistent with the drive. That doesn't matter, like, the thing that I want you to avoid is to one time be like 320 yards and one time 350 yards. We want to concentrate the drive distance to, in this case, for this particular shot, to be somewhere around 360 to 370 yards. Second shot, now, if you do want to go super conservative, then you use the massive fairway on the left to bounce up towards the pin. If you do want to attack the pin for the best chance for an albatross, then we are going to play a rough bump. And to play this rough bump, you need to have a decent chunk of topspin, otherwise you will not reach towards the hole. So I'm aiming with the ball guideline left of the bunker. Ball guideline is pointing slightly short of the hole. Adjust here is going to be 5% elevation, and then obviously whatever design club distance that we're looking into. Here the elevation is not as important. The important part obviously is that the whole setup kind of works together, meaning that we are not going to put this ball in the bunker, for an example, or we are not going to stay in the rough or coming in too hot and stuff like that. Basically general logic that we do have on every single shot that we're playing. Perfect ball, we hit the rough. and we roll down the green and dropping nicely dead center for the albatross. It may look complex, but trust me on this, it's not as complex as it looks. The important part though for me here for Jubilee Grove hole number 9 is to give you a look at what I believe is the best possible chance for an albatross. But for those of you that has been listening to my voiceover can also hear that there's nothing wrong by playing it more conservative, by using whatever wood club you want, meaning you can play with a sniper, to land on the fairway to the left of the rough, to use right spin and attack the pin from there. It's going to be a less percentage chance when it comes to dropping it, but you will have, you know, no issue at all to play with massive mistakes and still secure the eagle. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Pro and Expert Division with various wins. For those of you that do want to improve your game even more, do like thousands of others are doing every single season in Golf Clash, to sign up for any of our premium guides. We do offer guides from $3 and up, and we do have guides for Checkpoint Challenge, Tour Play, and also Tournament Play. And please, make sure to listen to the disclaimer that you have in the beginning of the video when I talk about the reason to why you will see some spin boxes display the old way of displaying stats and also the new way of displaying the stats. It's all about me trying to do my absolute very best to provide free content for all of you. But it is very important that you have that thing in mind when you're looking visually at the videos that you see in this playthrough. In the end though, if any questions, you can always use the comment section down below. If any other question, you can reach out to me on social media. Thank you once again for watching. I wish you the best of luck in your Golf Clash game.